cabin.
Well, welcome back, everybody. We're back here in the old time cave. Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been too cold. Yeah, it's been way too uncomfortable out here to be doing any kind of content. It's finally above 40 degrees. It's 50. What is it? Take a look. Take a look. What is it? What is it out here in the old time cave or in the city of Monrovia? It's 50 degrees. 50 degrees. I'll stop that. 50 degrees. Yeah. Showers expected at 2 and 3 and through 4 p.m. 50% chance. Down to a 40 to a 30% chance by 4 p.m. We might see a little bit more rain today. Might. Anyways, I just thought I made some breakfast. Now, funny story about breakfast. Well, not about the food. It's pretty common breakfast food I usually like to make on my days off. But the way I prepared it. We had a little bit of an issue on Sunday. I didn't really talk about this. I totally glossed over it. But Sunday, my wife put in some biscuits to bake in the morning for to have with breakfast, and I loved myself some biscuits. Well, she got the stove up to, she turned the stove on, we waited, and we put them in. Well, she kept checking them, and they did not look done. No, they barely were turning any kind of color, and they were still very, very soft after the normal amount of time. It only had 20 minutes or whatever, 15, 20 minutes. We noticed that the oven was not hot inside. The burners on top worked fine, but the oven itself was not working. And I looked at the pilot light, and it was just, just a fire. I'm like, it's not good. Nah. So I called the landlord, and he had somebody out yesterday afternoon, and a technician looked at the stove and said, yeah, well, this is an older Taipan stove from the 80s, 90s, and they don't make any parts for this anymore. You can't get them. Well, I'm sure you can somewhere, but not easily. So, anyways, it's okay. It's just a rental, type of 4-burner range. It's nothing spectacular or special or rare or unique. It's just a cheap stove. So we're getting a new one. We're getting it's being replaced by our landlord, and it should be here by Friday. So I hear. So Friday, that's as soon as it can get here. So in the meantime, I had to improvise. Yes, I pulled out my old Coleman 425. 425? Yes, 425 from the late 40s. And my camp stove. You've all seen my camp stove, I'm sure. If you watch any of my camping videos, you've probably seen it. It's a nice one. I purchased it from Steve Young. So shout out to Steve Young out there in San Dimas. I've been making very good use of that Coleman stove, and I thank you for selling it to me. So it actually is saving our bacon. Pun intended. I had bacon today, and it cooked it just fine. The trick with those, you just have to pump them up enough, get the right pressure, and have to warm up the generator so you have the little switch, and you have it up, and then as it warms up, then you move the switch down, and it burns just right. Luckily, I have camp fuel. So that's fine. It should be able to get us through tonight and tomorrow, and then Friday we'll be getting a new stove between 10 and 1 o'clock. So with that being said, we will have to rough it in a way. So yeah. So I made breakfast on the camp stove, sitting on top of the delinquent stove that I had to turn the gas off, and don't want to run the gas. Oh my gosh, no. It was leaking. It was actually this thing. The technician actually looked at it and says, this stove is not safe to use. You shouldn't be using it at all. It's actually compensated besides just the broken thermostat. So I'm like, oh, well, okay, good to know. So we got home from work yesterday and turned off the gas, and it's unhooked. So, it's what it is. So, hey, we've used it for 13 years. If you can imagine that, 13 years. That's a long time for any modern convenience or appliance, for that matter. It is, especially these days. I mean, yeah, I have a refrigerator that's plugged in that dates to 1935, but you know, they've just made appliances so much better back then. They did. And yeah, anyways. Try that again. We need a single strike anywhere here. No. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Here. So, what are we going to share today? Well, you already saw the thumbnail. You know what we're sharing today. There's this little guy. Ta-da! The old CT-Ham 00. Yeah, it's making a reappearance here. And for those who follow me on Facebook, my posts, my comments, whatever you call them, or care to call them, you know that I've had quite the time with this little lantern. Yes, this little guy has been quite challenging indeed. So the consensus is the burner is shot. It's absolutely garbage. It's the original burner, and it looks clean, it looks healthy and everything, but my gosh, man, it will burn. I can't correct the burn on that to save its life. No, I can't. I've tried a lot of different things. I've gently tweaked the air deflector wings on the wick channel at the top. That didn't change anything. I've cleaned it. I've tweaked it. I've done. I've taken a flathead screwdriver and tried to widen it. It was a little lopsided. I tried to widen it and get it kind of adjusted, and still burn the same. Yeah. Yep, it did. It still burned terrible. So with that being said, I had to try something else. I want to thank all of those on the Tubular Lantern group for offering your advice and helping me figure out what's going on with this thing. And also shout out to Mr. Madison Kirkman for his expertise in burner technology and characteristics. He definitely helped me a lot. He did. He looked at. I had taken certain photos, and he showed me that the burner actually was sitting just a little off kilter in the cone. So if there's a gap wider than another gap on either side of the wick channel in the cone, then it will create an uneven airflow, and that would make one side of the flame rise to the other side, as it was doing. So we had a conversation. I shared photos, and he really helped me narrow things down. Yes, I've cleared the airways, the tubes, everything, and everything's right. It's correct. But I did get it burning right, and that's because I tried a different burner entirely. Yes, I tried other burners I have, and nothing fit right. The standard number O, tubular burners out of, like, say, a Dietz Victor or Square Lift, something that's similar in era, period, whatever, doesn't fit. A standard 5/8 wick burner from a Dietz does not work in one of these. Not at all. Well, yeah, I have other CT-Ham lanterns, but they're the same size of wick for a number 0. So I'm like, geez, do I have something that also has a 3/8 wick that requires a 3/8 wick? Well, I tried the burner out of my very early Dietz Junior. That's a 5/8 wick too. I thought it was smaller. I thought it was a 3/8, but it's not. It's actually not. It's a 5/8. But that wasn't going to fit either. And I tried. Then I was like, oh wait, I have that Matthews and Willard Waterbury tubular. Yeah, I have that, and might as well try it. So I did. I pulled it out. And I put it in this, and it kind of fits. It's a very snug fit underneath the original cone. I tried a different cone. And I guess the kids just had to come out and play at some point today. And it's been pretty cold and threatening, but oh well. Anyway, so the burner just fits barely. It barely fits, but it's enough to, operate. So the cone, I've played around with the cone, and this little guy here, it fits. I'm going to just say it does. It doesn't sit as low as it should. I can't, well, no, it's not really locked. It just looks like it is, but it's not. But I think we've hit a point where we're just gonna, we're gonna play it where it lies here, and it's a little noisy, but come on. Oh, love it when the match strikes and then it breaks. There it is. It's better. So this is what I'm going to do to light it for right now. There is a hole in the globe plate. It's a little match hole, but I can't seem to crank the. Really, I mean, everything comes when I'm trying to talk and make a video. Everything comes around out of nowhere to make noise, like helicopters, airplanes, fire engines, police cars, and neighbors. Anyways, such is life. It's the world we live in. Yeah. So I can't seem to crank the wick high enough to get above the cone to light it the proper designed method, but that works. And as you can see, if you remember the photos I posted on Facebook, this thing was not burning happy at all. This is much more acceptable than what it was doing. So yeah, 5/8 wick burner seems to fit okay, and it will work for right now. I can actually enjoy it now. I actually burn it and enjoy its soft light as it is. Yeah, did I try the burner out of the other 00 lantern I have, the high-low? I mean, not the high-low, the Rayo. Sorry, this guy. It has a 5/8 wick burner as well. It's just a smaller frame with a smaller globe. That's all it is. It still is, yeah. So that's going to work for right now, and that's what we're dealing with. So, oh, sirens! We're getting a whole host of distractions today. Neighbors, gas, garbage trucks, helicopters, and of course Monrovia FD. I don't know what's on fire right now. Everything's very wet. Anyways, yeah. So, come on. Really? Well, let's be creative here. That's better. Ha! I'll show you. There. That's better. No, it's not. Anyways, well, friends, I guess we have a subtle victory with this 00 little ham. I will say I did manage to find a burner and cone that will work for this. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I don't know until I try it out. But I purchased the burner and cone from Lantern Joe. And he had a burner and cone from a CT Ham Gem, which is a small size cold blast. And he measured, he gave me the measurements of the cone that he has, and they look identical to this cone. And then the burner that fits in it is a 5/8 wick. It takes a 5/8 wick, so it will be a different wick size than the original, but it is a brass burner and about the same period, and it will fit. So with that being said, that's fine. I'm good with that. I am good with that. So as long as it fits in the burner cup, I'm good. I am fine with that. So we'll see in a handful of days. I mean, whenever he gets it out in the mail, it should be here pretty quick. I mean, I've gotten things from him very fast. Even though he's in Connecticut and I'm in California, things have traveled quite quickly. So with that being said, I'll probably see it by the weekend if he gets it in the mail today, or maybe Monday. That's probably more likely. Anyways, so we got a cool little CT ham 00 burning regardless of proper equipment. And that's the whole name of the game, really. Getting them to burn correctly and to enjoy them like this. At least for me it is. Some people do just put them on shelves and enjoy them that way. But me, as beautiful as it is, as much as I've enjoyed it just looking at it without burning it, I'm enjoying it a lot more like this. Yeah. Well, friends, thanks again for tuning in. Appreciate you. And we'll be back at you with another video in about a week. Given, well, Sunday will be our Mr. and Mrs. Smith content. And depending on weather, we might try to go out and do something on location. Now, I was in my last video, in the last video that I did for that channel, it was just me. You probably saw. I mentioned Mountain View Cemetery and the mausoleum up there. Now, if the roads are open to Crystal Lake, we might go up there and do a video in the snow because they have received record-breaking snowfall. In fact, for those who have been watching the news, you've probably seen that a lot of the mountain communities in Southern California are all snowed in. They have had record-breaking snowfall for this season, for this year. Probably almost a 40 to 50 year record. Have to double check on that, but that could be accurate. They've got 8 to 10 feet at Crystal Lake, as well as Lake Arrowhead and Big Bear. So for those who are on the East Coast and you've been watching the news, then you know that it's kind of dire. We're not used to that kind of amount of snow, and a lot of people were ill prepared for it. They did prepare for a blizzard, but it kind of surprised them how much snow we were going to get. So yeah, typically if it's raining down here for days on end, it's snowing in the mountains. So that was crazy. And I've been watching Adam on his Facebook page. He's been posting photos religiously of the scenario up at Crystal Lake, and there's nobody coming up. They're locked up there. They're snowed in. They've been digging themselves out. Even in the middle of the night when the snow is falling, they keep a path clear so they don't have to do it all in the morning or whatever, so they can actually leave their home or get into the cafe just to keep things from freezing up. So it's a lot of work. And a salute and greetings from down here up to Crystal Lake and the cafe and Adam and his family. And hopefully, with any luck, the snow will be plowed and cleared so they can actually reopen the cafe and have visitors and make some money that they haven't been making for the last couple of weeks, or the last week for that matter. So with that being said, let's keep our fingers crossed that this is the last of the weather we'll be getting so they can actually deal with and handle the snow up there. And if it is clear by this weekend, I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm probably going to say it's probably not going to be clear and open. But if it is, we'll go up there and make a video. But at any rate, if we don't, we'll go somewhere else and do a video, and we'll eventually get up there when the roadways are clear. All right. Well, with that being said, thanks again, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, this update on the 00 CT Ham Hot Blast, 1890, mid 1890s, I'd say. Anyways, I like this little guy. Yeah, fun stuff. All right, well, we'll be back with another video with some more fun, entertaining kerosene tubular lantern content next week. All right, friends, take it easy, and we'll see you again very soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.